There's no one specific way of treating a ceramic coating.
Maintaining your ceramic coated vehicle.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
And this is the DIY Detail Podcast. Today, we're going to be going over maintaining your ceramic coated vehicle, the myths, the misconceptions, and how you should be doing it.
The source of this video, by the way, comes from us reading and responding to your questions on YouTube and across our other platforms. So if you have questions, know that we're listening, we hear you, and what questions you ask us, the topics you bring up, we process them, we think about them, and we say, this might make a good video. So we're here for that back and forth conversation. We get a lot of questions about people who have coated cars. They want to know, what soap do I use? What can I not use? What can I use? And it's like, all I want to do is just shout at the rooftops and tell people, don't overthink it.
First of all, let's dispel something. You don't need a special soap for your ceramic coating. You don't need a special treatment. You don't need a special anything. If anything, ceramic coating, you can abuse it more than a non-coated car, in the sense that the ceramic coating provides chemical resistance that paint doesn't. Ceramic coatings provide marring resistance. I won't say scratch resistance because it's not scratch resistance, but it provides marring resistance as well. So if you're a little less careful with your wash, you might be able to get away with it with a ceramic coating, whereas on a painted car, you wouldn't. And there's a lot of things, circulating on the internet that, if you have a ceramic coated car, it's so much more difficult to maintain. No. It's easier to maintain. It's simpler. It's more fun. And you don't need to maintain it as often because it stays cleaner longer. So all this special ceramic coating soap and ceramic coating this and ceramic coating that, you don't need anything special or different to maintain your ceramic coatings. There's no one specific way or one specific person that should be getting a ceramic coating. As far as I'm concerned, every car on the road should have a ceramic coating.
And I think maybe that's why we're getting more questions about it, is because more people are choosing to protect their car with ceramic coating. Wax isn't necessarily dead, but coatings have taken over, I feel like, in the modern vernacular. Obviously, we offer our 3 or 5 or 8 year coatings. We offer a ton of how-to videos on how to install them. And we have also some videos on how to maintain a coated car, so we're going to put those in the description if you want to kind of see the visual of it. But Ivan, I wrote this down on my piece of paper. I wrote down 3 notes. Don't overthink it is one of them. So basic wash principles apply.
The same method you use to wash your uncoated car is the method you're going to use to wash your coated car. But it's going to be easier. It's going to be faster. It's going to be simpler. It's going to dry easier. There's a lot of advantages to having the ceramic coating. And like I said, there's myths out there that now that you have a ceramic coating, you can't wash your car this way. Or now that you have a ceramic coating, you need to use this special soap or this special rinseless or whatever. No, you have a ceramic coated car. It's more resistant. It stands up better. It's easier to dry. It's easier to wash. You don't need to go out and buy special things or change your routine just because you have a ceramic coating. If anything, the ceramic coating is there to help you. It's not there to hinder you. It's not there to make the job more complicated. So the ceramic coating, you don't need to treat it any differently than paint in any way, shape, or form.
People will ask, well, I got the ceramic coating. Now, do I use ceramic gloss after? Do I use quick beads after as the drying aid? Spray on, rinse off. Is that going to change the behavior of my coating? Am I going to be layering it too often? Could I clog up the pores of the coating by adding on quick beads and ceramic gloss? What I tell people is don't overthink it. Have fun. I can't tell you exactly what happens between layer 6 and layer 7 of ceramic gloss. I don't know how it's been driven. I can't even measure it on the paint besides the visual, but I know that the coating works if you apply it properly, if you decon, panel prep, hopefully you polished, right? That's usually a good step. And then after that, if you apply ceramic gloss or quick beads after your maintenance washes, I know that your paint is going to be glossy and it's going to beat up. And it's going to be fine. That's what I try to tell people, but they love the scientific down the rabbit hole answer from you, Ivan. So is there something you want to add to that?
Yeah, so definitely. First of all, clogging the coating. Something like ceramic gloss or quick beads is not going to clog the coating, air quotes for those that are listening on podcast apps. It's not clogging the coating in any way, shape, or form. What it's doing is that is the last surface protection, or the LSP. So basically, the ceramic gloss or the quick beads is what's doing the work while it's still there. Now, ceramic gloss quick beads doesn't last as long on a coated vehicle because the coating rejects a little bit of it, not 100%. So yes, you are getting benefit from adding ceramic gloss or quick beads, but you're not getting as if you're putting on a raw paint. That being
It just
said,
had panel prep and everything, just totally
Yeah.
squeaky clean. Yep.
exactly. Should you use it every time you wash? You can if you want to. It's not necessary. Now, if you're washing with Incredible Suds, rinsing it off and leaving water on the panel, then yes, then you need a drying lubricant. And you can use ceramic gloss, you can use quick beads, your choice. But if you're using rinseless to wash, if you want to skip the drying aid portion of it, go right ahead. The rinseless wash is its own drying aid. So you have options there. And can you overdo it? Sure. Nick here, my co-host, tends to overdo it every time he uses it.
And I have fun. So is
he
it
sprays
overdoing
a little
it?
too much on. But basically, the little amount that you're putting on is not going to do anything. And the worry about clogging the coating, again, it's sitting on top of the coating. The only thing that clogs coating is salt or minerals. And that can come from road salts in the winter. That can come from high mineral content water. Or if you're on a coastal area where it's nice and sunny, the dew in the morning contains a bit of salt. And that's going to sit on the top surfaces of the vehicle. So the next part of coating maintenance is a water spot remover.
Yeah, and you want to use a water spot remover once in a while, not on Tuesday of every month.
No.
Well, maybe once a quarter. I mean, I think using the decon towel and water spot remover every
Not
quarter, not
Yeah.
together. I'm just talking about like people ask
Yeah.
about our decontamination towel, our quote unquote clay towel, for
Yeah.
those who are listening on podcast apps, as Ivan mentioned. And they say, how often should I use the decon towel? And I tell people it's kind of a difficult question to answer simplistically. It's like every paint is different. Every person is different, right? That's why we have doctors. You go to the doctor and what's right for you might not be right for the other person. But
Yeah.
your paint is going to tell you if you start to get good at this stuff, if you start to pay attention a little bit. It'll feel rough. If it's white paint, you'll see little orange spots. So you can feel and see contamination start to build up. So if you're not someone who's going to be into the seeing and feeling thing, if you just don't quite feel like you know enough yet, you're not quite an expert on paint or your paint, and you're just looking for a standard operating procedure, just give me something to do and I'll do it exactly as you say, because that's kind of how I am when I'm learning stuff.
Right.
What do you think, Ivan, about once a quarter, different uses, but like the decon towel and then water spot remover as a process for sort of a deep dive quarterly maintenance wash, whether it's on a contaminated vehicle that's coated or not coated, right? I think that once a quarter is a pretty good...
Yeah, exactly. Every 3 months, or worst case scenario, every 6 months, and really worst case scenario, once a year. Now, like Nick said, we can't quantify that because is your vehicle garage kept? Is it daily driven? Is it parked on the street? Is it parked in a shelter? Is it do you only do 1,000 miles a year? It really varies from one person to another. So depending on how much mileage you're putting on your vehicle, depending on how it's stored, how it's maintained, how often you're washing it, those are all things that are going to impact contamination growing or accumulating on your vehicle. But when you feel the need, and for some people they feel the need every week, some people they don't, they'll never feel the need. But if you feel the need to decontaminate your vehicle, go right ahead and do it. With our perforated synthetic decontamination towel, some proper lubrication like rinseless wash, Incredible Suds, or the iron remover, or ceramic gloss for that matter, you're going to get a very nice, slick, clean, decontaminated surface, and you're not going to be marring the paint like we did with the old-fashioned clay bars. And I can hear the keyboards now that, I'll never clay a paint without polishing it. Nor would I. But using the decontamination towel and proper lubrication, that's a completely different story.
Totally. And I hate even answering the question specifically like, how often should I use your decontamination towel? Because for me, it's not so cut and dry. I like throwing it in my wash bucket and in rinseless wash or Incredible Suds. And then as I look at my windshield, and maybe I like use the fluffy wash mode with Incredible Suds or rinseless wash, whatever.
Right.
And Legacy Sponge probably with rinseless wash. And there's still bug guts on the windshield. I may use that decon towel for one thing and one thing only. To, with no effort at all and great pleasure achieved, shave off all the bug guts on the windshield with the decon towel, and I'll just kind of like I'll just flop it back on the side of the bucket. I won't even put it back in there in the bucket to get the bug guts back in the bucket. I'll just leave it on the side of the bucket and be like, all right, you did good today. I'll rinse you out at the end. And that'll be it. I just like to have it around. So I don't think about it like, oh, when am I going to whip out the clay towel? It's just, and it's a decon. It's the perforated synthetic decontamination towel for those of you who are paying attention. But no, it's one of those where you start to learn how to break the rules once you know them well enough. And I just wouldn't overthink the decon towel because like you said, Ivan, proper technique. You're not going to mar the paint. Use it as desired.
Yeah, and we have some customers that actually use it every wash. Their car never gets contaminated. There's other people that, once a year. So it's really up to you how often you feel you need it. And it's the same thing with the water spot remover. Now, the water spot remover is a little easier to gauge in the sense that you've washed your car, you're doing the final rinse, and it's not beading the way you want it to bead. That's when water spot remover comes in, because a lot of times a water spot remover could actually be called a coating revival tool. And
maybe we should rebrand it.
Yeah. Well, it does take care of water spots as well. But the coating revival tool, basically we're removing encrusted minerals in the coating or on the coating that are masking the properties of the coating. So what's happening there is you're getting salt accumulation, whether it be on the sides for those of us in the northern climate, for those coastal people, will be on the top surfaces, but your beading sort of starts to go away. And on some vehicles that I've maintained in the past, you could actually see the line of spray on the side of the vehicle in the winter when it accumulates. And when you're washing it in the spring, that line of spray is still there. And that's the whole area that needs the water spot remover. So water spot remover, very simple application. Wash your car, make sure the surface is clean, still a little damp. Put the water spot remover on the surface, let it dwell, maybe agitate it a little bit with a rinseless damp and microfiber towel, and then rinse it away, and your beading is back.
And it doesn't leave protection behind. You may wonder, well, there's got to be like ceramic gloss in here, because why did it all of a sudden start to beat up like a freshly coated protected car? It's actually just restoring whatever was underneath there. So if you ever detail an old hammered car, maybe it got waxed at the dealership and it's still there or something. You never know what someone put on. Rain-X this or, a product from O'Reilly or something. Who knows? And there might be some slight water beads restored to what will look like flat paint before. And it's not because you protected it. It's because you helped to declog that particular coating or more likely just the clear coat. Yeah. So water spot remover can be used before your decon towel and iron remover. It can be used after. Ivan, I know we've done it different ways in different videos. Yeah. Is there a way you want to recommend folks in this? Because I know I've seen it in different ways. And it's almost like, do you wash your face first or your armpits, right? Like, I think either way, I don't know. It's like, it's not the same thing because those are both actually different parts of your body versus the same paint. But I think both can achieve the same results. Whether you use iron remover and the decon towel after the wash and then do the water spot remover, or do the wash, water spot remover, and then decon towel. I don't know. Do you want to address whether one works better?
There's no set format here. So whichever one, they'll both work. The idea, though, is water spot remover to be most effective, especially if you're dealing with actual water spots, is to agitate it. So if you're going to be agitating it, you want a clean surface. So it needs to be done after the washing step. Sure. But some people will actually use it as a pre-spray, and it works that way as well. Now you're going to use a little more than you should, unfortunately, but nonetheless, it's not a very expensive chemical. So if you
pre-spray, explain that.
Basically, put it on your dry panel as your pre-spray, then rinse off. You've removed that salt, and it's going to take a lot of the dirt off with it as well.
You know what I saw on the Facebook page the other day, a DIY Detail Facebook page. If you haven't asked to join, we're almost 48,000 members strong. So join. It's a very safe place to go ask your detailing questions. Yeah. And you can search the questions that have been asked before. So if you're like, I'm a little nervous, I don't want people to think I'm stupid, just search the questions that have been asked before. It may have been asked before, but questions get asked many times. It's okay. We're there to help. That's why we have the page. But anyway, Ron mentioned he uses Incredible Suds as a clay lube. And I literally messaged him, like, I don't think I've ever used in a spray bottle, because we always said rinseless wash, iron remover as a clay lube. But for his decon towel, he was using Incredible Suds as a clay lube. What do you think about that, Ivan?
Excellent. It's a highly lubricated, the surfactants in Incredible Suds are spectacular. They're very high quality surfactants. Yes, they provide a lot of lubrication. Yeah. So definitely a good way of doing it.
And he said he loved the smell too. Incredible Suds smell amazing.
Yeah, I feel like grapes. I'm not a grape smell person, but I do know that, people who like the grape smell really like the smell of Incredible Suds. So, that being said, yeah, definitely for the decontamination towel, just make sure you have proper lubrication. And unfortunately, water spot remover is not proper lubrication. So just want to bring that back up again. Use your water spot remover not in conjunction with or not at the same time as you're using the decontamination towel.
I also want to address this because the real world, when more people get coatings, this is more of an issue or subject that applies to people's lives, which is the actual car wash.
Right.
Can a coated car go through the car wash? Would you recommend people take their car through a car wash versus not like, let's say life gets busy. You have all the best intentions in the world. You buy the DIY detail lineup. You're like, I'm going to wash my car in my garage every 2 weeks. Life gets busy. And now you're like, well, I don't want to take it through the car wash because they call that the scratch pass. And all of a sudden you're paralyzed and your coating or your vehicle is just not getting any love. What's the best thing to do if you're in a situation like that?
Take it through the car wash. So cleaning your car is better, any way of, or not any way of cleaning your car, but a good quality car wash is going to do an okay job. It's not as good as washing at home. It's not as fun either, but there's a lot of advantages to keeping your car clean. Now, a car wash, unfortunately, they miss spots. Every car has a different shape to it. So the brushes try to conform, but they don't always get there. On my Fiat that we took through many car washes, just the rear license plate, the way it was set up, rarely got touched by the car wash. So that's one of the things. So you will need to wash your car by hand once in a while anyways. But going through the car wash is not going to end your coating's life right there. Don't worry about it. Your coating can take the car wash. And if you have a touchless car wash, even better.
You like the touchless car wash even though the chemicals they use are pretty harsh? Again, coating can handle the chemicals, but I just wondered how you feel about that.
Yeah, definitely. An uncoated car, I'd rather go through a brush car wash. A coated car with the chemical resistance that a coating provides, you can go through a touch-free car wash, and it's actually going to do a good job. Don't be afraid of the touch-free car wash, and don't be afraid of the brush car wash. Brushes have changed a lot. If you're going through a car wash that looks like it was built in the 70s, and the brushes are these really thin little nylon strips, you can hear them slapping your car because they're going really fast, you may not want to go through that car wash again. But if it's the newer type of car wash with the neoprene brushes and they're very slow rolling, they're getting properly rinsed off, then go for it. And look at the reviews before going into a car wash. Google is a great thing these days. Everybody has an opinion and can voice it. So having those Google reviews, you can look at, oh wait, this car wash has 5 stars or 4.5 stars and nobody's complaining. Then that's probably a good car wash. And if it has a lot of 1 or 2 star reviews, you maybe want to consider not going through that one. But also, the detailer that's installing your coating, if you're having it installed professionally, should have a recommendation for you as to what car wash they suggest. And if their line is, no, never go through a car wash, you're going to destroy the coating, in that case, you might want to defer to someone else. But that being said, car washes are not the evil that everyone thinks they are, or the detailers think they are. There's more cars that go through a car wash in one day than most detailers see in 1 year. So it's not that big of a deal. There's a lot of people going through car washes on a regular basis. We did a truck recently, and a white truck, we didn't polish it. Nick can put the video down in the comments. The owner of that truck goes through a car wash roughly 8 to 10 times for every fill up.
I was going to say multiple times a week. Like,
yeah, exactly.
He almost looks at it like, because he gets the pass, like once a day is good,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he only keeps the car or the truck for a year, so that's not a big deal. But his previous truck, we saw it, 2 days before coating the new one. It looked great. And it was ceramic coated. It goes through a car wash daily almost, and it doesn't have time to get dirty, really. He doesn't go off-road with it. The farthest off-road is the mall parking lot, so it's not going off-road, and it's a very clean vehicle when he trades it back in, because he had it ceramic coated. He can go through the car wash multiple times a week, and it's not scratched up. It wasn't scratched in any way. So
no.
a good car wash can be a good solution for you.
I would just say enjoy. You got a coated car, enjoy it. Enjoy how
Yeah.
easy it is to clean. Enjoy how the decontamination towel can help you get the bug guts off the front end after you've washed very easily. It's going to clean up easier. That's my favorite part of a coated car. So every time you do clean it, just try to revel in the fact that you've done the right thing for the longevity of your paint. And it's way easier to clean than it would be had you not made that investment.
Exactly. And it's a lot of fun. And ceramic coatings, yes, professionally installed ceramic coatings are great. Our ceramic coatings, you can install them yourself. And that's another question we get about, coating maintenance, but also I'm getting a new car. Where do I have it coated? Do it yourself. It's really easy to do. If you can apply a wax, you can apply our ceramic coatings. It's not difficult. We have a lot of tutorials online. You can find them quite easily on how to install ceramic coatings on different types of vehicles, different ways of prepping the vehicle. And if you're getting it fresh off the lot, it's brand new, the dealership hasn't touched it, you can literally just clean it, decontaminate it, and put the ceramic coating on if you want to. Now, polishing is always better, but if you don't have that capacity or don't want to, that's fine.
Well, I just put a note for myself to link all those products in the description below. So if you're curious about coating your own car, we're going to have videos in the description about how to maintain a coated car. So an actual step-by-step how-to. Then I'll put one in there, how to actually coat your car, along with links to products. And as always, if you have questions, we want to hear from you. We answer them on YouTube. Ivan, any final thoughts, sir?
Well, yeah, speaking of answering questions on YouTube, most of our videos we do as a premiere, meaning that when we launch the video, we're there online to chat with you. And we have sometimes 80, 100 people in the chat with us just talking about the video that's being played. But at the same time, if you have questions, we can answer them there. Another area where we answer a lot of questions is our Facebook group, DIY Detail. Like Nick said, we're close to 48,000 members. Let's try to bump it up to 50,000 soon enough. But really, it's a safe space. And yes, you can do the search function and find the answer, but just ask the question.
Yeah.
You're not going to get belittled for, oh, you could have searched for it. And those comments get deleted, by the way.
Yeah, like I've realized there are groups with bullies, and I'm like, how is that possible that we don't have them? Like, we have a very friendly group. So if you are curious, just to echo what Ivan said, ask away. Yeah. I'd rather have an active group, right? This is our life, this is our business. This is our job, right? And we take it so seriously, like we love it. But like, I'd rather have an active group where people are still asking questions than they're afraid to ask it. So don't be afraid to ask a question again. Like, nobody talks crap to someone who does that. They either don't answer it or they answer it. But no, there's no bullies, and if they are, they get booted. So just so you know, it is a safe space. Everyone's a beginner at some point, and honestly, I love the idea of beginner's mind. Like, it's a concept where you're always a beginner. You're always learning.
Exactly. And there's no such thing as a stupid question. There might be stupid answers, but there's no such thing as a stupid question. So go ahead, ask your questions. That's what we're there for. You can ask them in these videos. You can ask them on the Facebook group. You can go on our TikTok. You can go on our Instagram. Wherever you contact us, we're there to help.
And with that, let's have them look at a video right here. Oh, right there. If you're curious to learn more about ceramic coatings.